As a punishment for the Boston Tea Party, the British people in the Parliament passed the Intolerable Acts. The worst part of these acts was the fact that they closed the Boston harbor and demanded the city to pay for the tea that had been dumped into the harbor. The tea duty was new in 1773 because it had been imposed in 1767. Colonial smugglers found themselves undersold by the East India Company because they were getting lower shares than the other colonies. In the autumn of 1773, the colonies knew the detailed plan of the company. Sending their tea to America at their own price was not the case, though. They had another intention. Their intention was definitely to send their tea only to the nominate consignees in each port. The change would have less impact on Boston than elsewhere, such as New York and Philadelphia, since taxed tea had been regularly sold there since 1770, and some of the tea merchants were appointed consignees. In New York and Philadelphia, all the tea merchants were smugglers, and they didn't expect company favors. New York and Philadelphia were threatened by their business, so to win, they worked together against the East India Company by launching a propaganda campaign to the whole colonial community. The East India Company expanded tea monopoly into one of all foreign trade. The whole project was actually a ministerial scheme to trick Americans into an acceptance of taxed tea.
For he worketh not unto the tea.
There is a dignity, a modesty, a sovereignty in his last effort of the patriots that I greatly admire.
While the British men paid taxes on the tea, the colonists were forced to pay taxes on that same tea. Though the tea tax was meant to be kept a secret from the colonists, word soon spread out informing that the Tea Act had taxed tea as well. The protest was successful, forced tea consignees to resign and return the tea to England, all but to Boston, Massachusetts.
Therefore, the South, the British East India Company nearly went bankrupt as they had additional rights to sell tea within the British Empire. The commerce of Great Britain tried to save the company from passing the Tea Act of 1773 that allowed the company to ship tea from its warehouses without paying normal taxes. This concept idea was to make the tea more competitive with the Dutch policy.
You might ask, how did the Boston Tea Party influence the American Revolution? Well, in a brief summary, I'll explain that the Tea Party was a bold and daring step forward on the road to the outright revolution. The Tea Party also had mixed results, such as some Americans held the Bostonians as heroes while others condemned them as rebels. In May of 1773, the Parliament gave in to the British East India Company so they could lower their tea prices. The Americans got mad because the British East India Company would only trade with pro-British merchants. On September 1773, the British East India Company broke out 100,000 pounds of tea on the market. They did this because they had so much extra tea on hand, and many of the members of the Parliament were investors in the tea market. It was said that if there was too much tea for sale, the tea would be cheaper and members of the Parliament would lose money. In December of 1773, the Boston Tea Party was inaugurated when a group of Massachusetts patriots who disguised themselves as Native Americans, Sam Adams and his cousin John Adams, protesting the monopoly of American tea importation recently granted by the Parliament to the East India Company, seized 242 chests of tea in a midnight raid on 3 ships known as Fever, Illinois, and Dartmouth, and threw them into the harbor. The colonists did this because they didn't like the British tea taxes. As a punishment for the Boston Tea Party, the British people in the Parliament passed the Intolerable Acts. The worst part of these acts was the fact that they closed the Boston harbor and ordered the city to pay for the tea that had been dumped into the harbor. The tea party was named in 1773 because it had been imposed in 1767. Colonial settlers found themselves undersold by the East India Company because they were getting lower shares than the other colonies. By the end of 1773, the colonies needed a total plan of the company. Sending their tea to America at their own price was not the case, though. They had another intention. Their intention was definitely to send their tea only to American cities in each port. The change would have less impact on Boston than elsewhere, such as New York and Philadelphia, since taxed tea had been regularly sold there since 1970, and some of the tea merchants were appointed consiglies. In New York and Philadelphia, all the tea merchants were smugglers, and they did expect company favors. In Philadelphia, were threatened by their business. So away, they worked together against the East India Company and launched a propaganda campaign to the whole colonial community. The East India Company expanded tea monopoly into run off foreign trade. The whole project was actually a ministerial scheme to trick Americans into an exception of taxed tea.
Is it a video production software? Okay, and it's called Profile? Who makes it? Do you know?
Made it.
Sorry?
I made it.
Oh yeah, I know you made this, but didn't you do it on a software program?
Yeah, I used Windows Movie Maker.
Really? That's all? That's good. Well, I'm going to have to pull you in on some things then. With your editing skills, excellent.
I actually did good.
What?
I actually did good.
Yeah, it was great. Yes.
Can we please watch the Good Cat Show? I really want to, just like one.